this is Mr. Lowe at Coral Canyon Elementary School. Today I'm going to teach you how to use the drop-down menu on an object in the Smart Notebook software. So when we have an object and we click on it, we get these little marching ants that go around the outside. And also we have a little square with a triangle inside. That is our drop-down menu. If we click on that, it'll drop down a menu for us to choose different things to do. The first thing I'm going to show you is linking. Now we can link that object to a lot of different things. We can link it to a web page. We can link it to another slide in our presentation. We can link it to a file. We can link it to a video. There's lots of things we can link to. So let me show you how to do it. Here we have an object, and we want to link this object to our class website. So I click on the object, I get my marching ants. I come up to the little box with a triangle, and I get my drop-down menu. If I come almost all the way to the bottom, I see one that says link. I can click on that, and my first option is to link to a web page. So in here, I'm going to either type in my address, or I can copy and paste it from the internet. So I put my address in for where I want it to go, and then down here, we can tell it to either create an icon in the corner, or we can tell it to link to the whole object. I like to link it to the whole object because then you have more space to click, and it doesn't have a little picture next to all of your objects. So I'm going to click on there, link to object, and I'm going to say OK. Now, it doesn't look any different except for when I move over the top. See how it turns into a hand? That tells me that I can click on that object and it will go somewhere. So I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to click on the object. It's going to pull up my internet for me, and sure enough, here it comes to my class website. Now, the other way to link objects is we can also link to text. So here I just created the text, class website. I click on it, just like before. I get my marching ants. I click in the little corner, and I get a drop-down menu. I go over to link, and I want to do the same thing. So I type in my class website, but this time I'm going to say link to corner icon. So I click OK. Now, you notice this time it changed a little bit. See how there's a little globe down here? That globe is what I have to click on. If I hover over the word, the text, doesn't do anything. I can click on it, it'll let me edit it and change it, but it doesn't go anywhere. The only way to go to my class website now is to click on the little globe, and it will do the same thing. It'll pull up my class website like it did before. We won't wait for that to come back up. So those are the different ways that we can link to websites. The next thing we can do with linking is we can link the object to another slide inside the presentation. And we can do the same thing. We can link it to the corner, or we can link it to the object. So here we have a button, and let's say I want to make this button go back to the very first page of my slideshow. So I'm going to click on the button, which gives us a little marching ants around the outside. I click on the little drop-down box, and I go down to linking. This time, instead of clicking on web page, I'm going to come down to page in this file. I click on that, and it's going to show me all the different pages. If I click on it, it will give me a small image to help me remember what I'm looking at. I could also name these so that they're easier to find. So here it says title page, so that's where I want it to go. I'm going to make sure that it's going to launch by clicking the object rather than the little icon in the corner, and then I hit OK. Now that has become a button that will take me to my home page. So when I hover over the top and I click on it, it takes me straight to my home page. The third thing I can do with linking is I can link it to a file that's on my computer. So same steps. I'm going to go into my object, and here I've created a little box that says math assignment. And so if I'm creating a presentation that teaches the math lesson, and then I want to go to a math lesson that's saved somewhere else on my computer, I'm going to click on the box. I'm going to click on the drop-down menu. I'm going to go down to linking again, and this time I'm going to pick file on this computer. Now, if I know where the file is, I can type it in, or I can click on the browse, and then I could go into my documents, come over to Math, and click on the file that I want to link to. And then I can tell it to either insert as a copy, which would actually put the file into the presentation. It'll make it longer and take up more room, but it's very convenient if you're going to share these with other teachers who may not have the same file in the same location you do. Or, if you know it's only going to be for your use, then you can do a shortcut, which will keep the file smaller and take up less room. But if you share this with someone else, when they click on the link, it won't work because their computer is not set up exactly the same way as yours. So either way, I'll do a shortcut just to save space. I'm going to make sure I link it to the object, and I'm going to click OK. Now, that will take me to my assignment. So when I click on this, it'll pull up the PowerPoint, which I linked it to. Now this PowerPoint is in another folder somewhere else on my computer. It's just a regular math assignment. And there it is. It pulls up my math assignment for the day. The final thing we can do with linking is we can link it to a current attachment in this presentation. Now for those of you who don't know what that means, if I come over here to the side where I have my little tabs, I have my attachment tab here. And if you look in here, I've attached several things to this presentation. I've got a little video for the kids to watch during the presentation. I've got a PowerPoint, a Word document, an Excel document, and I've put all of these into the presentation. Why? Because I plan to share this presentation with other teachers, and if they don't have those files on their computer, or if they're not in the same place that I put mine, then the links won't work for them. By putting them in, it makes my file bigger because all of these files are now part of my presentation. But it makes it so that I can send it to anyone and they will have all the things that I have. So, having put those in there, let's say I want to make a link that goes to one of those. So I come to my page here, I click on my object to get the marching ants, I click on the drop-down menu, I come down to Link, and this time I say Current Attachments. And notice that these are the same things that were in this little button over here, this tab. And so I can look down through and I can say, I want this button to take me to this PowerPoint right here, or to a video. Let's try the video. Right there. I'm going to make sure I click it to the object, because I want it to be to the object, and I say OK. Now, when I click on my object, it pulls up that little video. And we're able to watch the video. This is nice if you're doing a science lesson and you don't want to have the object in the way, but you want to be able to go to a video if you have time. But maybe if you don't have time, you don't want the kids to see it and be mad that they didn't get to see the video. It's a way that you can just create a little icon somewhere on the screen that you know links to the video. And then if you have time, you show the video, and if you don't, the kids don't know that they missed out.